Welcome to Animation Basics. This is the first of a series of lessons on simple animation techniques using the Adobe Suite. We will look at how you can easily animate in Photoshop CC and Animate CC. The first lesson is called Funnyface. In this lesson, you will learn how to create a short looping face sequence using Adobe Animate CC and the principle of frame-by-frame animation. Right, so open a new Animate file, okay. I usually hit a full HD because I'm working on stuff for TV. There is stuff for games and stuff, but I'm not going to use that. Right, this will open up a new Animate file. So this is Animate. This is the toolbar. You're probably familiar with some of those tools from Photoshop. You can move them around and stuff like that. Okay. Then let's just put that. Let's get that and pop that back in there. That's right. And then this area here is the timeline. It's divided into frames, and you can see it's at the moment we're on 30 frames a second. And that's what we'll be changing that later. And this bit here is the stage. Now, if I zoom out using this tool, you can see I'm zooming out. You can see the white area. That is the stage. That is the area in which all your action is going to take place. That is like a theatre stage. Okay. You might have things on the outside, but you will everything you see will be in the white rectangle. We'll look at properties and stuff at a later date if you get that far. All right, so we're going to go into the first layer here, and we've got that. We're going to use that, so we're going to draw a funny face in here. So I'm going to do probably about 5 frames. So I'm going to click on that, right click, and I'm going to choose my colour. I'm going to draw on it first, sorry. And I'm going to get my paintbrush tool, make sure that's black. I can change the size of the brush there, you can see that. Make it a bit smaller. Okay, and I'm going to change my size so I can go in a little bit closer. So I'm now going to draw my funny face using the black lines. Okay, I would always start with black first, or a darker colour. There's his head, then his nose. So that's the smoothing. I was just going to talk about the smoothing. I'll try to show you what it looks like when you don't smooth. Can you see there? And then if we really smooth it, you can see the difference. It will kind of make a much smoother, nicer line. And sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. Just delete those. So I'm going to kind of put it back where it was. A good bit of smoothing there, and put some eyes in here. Little eye there. Little eye there, and a new mouth to start with, I think. And we'll pop an ear on, and another ear, and then now you can see that goes off. I'm going to be drawing his jumper or his top. You can see I'm pulling the shoulders down like so. But I must make sure that I join up those little bits, otherwise when I'm flood filling later and putting colour in, it'll all flow out here. Right, okay. So, there's our little man. Good little start. Okay, and get him in frame. Now we go back up to the timeline, and we go on to, so we're going to make him make a funny face. I'm going to rename that face. I'll call that face. Okay, and we're going to go into the second frame, and we're going to left click or control click on a Mac to get up this menu, and you go for insert blank keyframe, not keyframe, blank keyframe. Okay, and you can see now it gives us a white frame. Now we want to be able to see that, to trace over it. So we go up to here, we can see where it says onion skin. Alright, and that will activate the onion skin there so we can see the previous frame. You can see by moving them apart. So by doing that, it gives us a blue version. You can see there that we can use to trace over. Okay, so that's our tracing. So we're going to roughly kind of trace over our man's face and slightly alter some of it. There we go. So we'll just pop that around, all the way around there. That's good. And to the top there. Put his ear in. Nose. Other ear. No proper way of doing it. You just kind of. I'm going to make him a little bit more open-mouthed. Eyeball. I'll just put a little bit of a frown in there, and same again with the jumper kind of shoulders thing, kind of moving those out like so, and then making sure they're joined up as well at the bottom. So this is a process. You're going to be going through this a few other times, so we'll probably speed this bit up. Each time, remember, you're putting in a new blank keyframe, and you can see here with the onion skin, you can move that in so it only covers the previous frame. So if you can just move that in, you can get the previous frame. So you only want the frame before. You can just alter that. And yet again, like going over the face, some of that's rubbish, but hey, let's start again on that one. Okay, and all the way around. Ear as well. Ear. What we'll do is we'll speed this up, but say you're doing this for 5 frames. Okay. So now we turn the onion skin off. We can check our animation. You can just move the cursor up and down. You can have a look at it. Okay. All right. So there we are. You can see it starts on that one there. So there we go. So we're going to flood fill these in a moment and do all that. So you can see here that it's gone all dotty on the image. You don't want that really, so you don't want to actually select the frame. You can choose the cursor like that, and that will turn it off. And now you can flood fill, otherwise you would have flood filled it with one colour. So now I'm going into the colour here. I'm going to choose a good little skin tone for him. Click on that, you can see it's there now. Right, then I can go and find the paint and flood fill. There we are, that's a nice colour for his face. And we're going to swap the colours by clicking that little arrow, and we can go into the nice red for his sweater or jumper, and just flood fill that. I'm just going to go through, and you can see here, just check that so that it goes black, and I'm going to flood fill all the jumpers. Do the same again. If you find you've got the dots. If you actually move the cursor along, it doesn't do it, so you can quickly pop the colour in. Go back and make sure I've got that right. Okay, swap the colours there to the pink colour for the face, and I'll move it forward. Flood fill all those bits. Just get all those done. And there we go. That one. We've got our animation. We can hit the loop button up here. That's a little loop button. There's our loop. We need to stretch it to cover the whole of 5 frames, and we can then hit play. Now it seems very fast, doesn't it? So we're going to modify the document. We go modify document, and then you can see, do it again. It says 30 frames a second. So I'll show you that again. Document, go into there, and you can see if you go down, sorry, I keep getting it wrong, document, you can see down here it says 30 frames a second here. You go into there and change it. We can change it to 12. We'll try 12, click OK, and then it says change to 12 there. We can play it. Still a little bit too fast for my liking. Could do it, but I think it needs to be even half of that. So I'm going back into the document, changing that to 6 frames a second. OK, you can see now that's changed to 6, and now that looks much better, I think, for this piece of animation. So you can see we've got a moving piece. I'm going to do a couple more things first. We're going to look at these, and we're going to actually try and make this loop back on itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these, all right, control click and select them, all right, and then right click or control click, and then we need to go down to copy frames and then move that over, and right click again on that new one and paste frames. See, now we've got an exact copy of what we've just done. So I'm going to select from 10 to 6. I'm going to select those frames and then go down and reverse frame. So now if I pull my loop to the end there, and I watch my animation, he kind of smiles and then goes back to the beginning again. So it's a looping animation. That gives it a loop. It comes back to the beginning again. Quite good, like that. So we've got a few more little bits to do that we're going to sort out. So we're going to put a background on here. So I'm going to click that. Right, you want to add a background behind, so we're going to pop the background there. There's the background. Okay, and it's just going to be a static background. We'll learn about parallax scrolling in other ones. So I'm going to get a nice black color, and I'm going to zoom out, I think, first, and then sort of draw in a kind of cityscape. I'll speed this up a bit. Go back to the paintbrush and I just join it up like I did with the jumper off screen, and I'm flood filling it will work. So I am now going to make sure I'm going to use a grey here, sort of city grey. I could have done more drawing on it, but I'm just showing you how it works. You can see now I've put that over the top of the head. Now all I need to do is drag that layer down underneath it. You see now the cityscape is behind him. I'm going to, quite good, I think. I'm going to select that now, and I'm going to drag that down a little bit. It's a bit too high. That'll do. Okay, and I'm going to name that So see, put another layer in. I'm going to pull this to the bottom, and this time I'm going to choose a kind of sky colour. I'm just going to put a simple sky in behind the city. I need to find the right sort of blue. That'll do. And I'm going to use a big fat paintbrush. I'll make it massive and just paint all over the back there. Now that's all. So we already see what's in that rectangle. Okay, so if we run through it, there he is animating. That looks good. Great. Okay, we're going to add a blur to the background, so we can go into filters here, and here we've got things like glows and blurs. I'm going to add a blur. There we are, hit a blur, and there it is. I'm going to go down and scroll down a little bit and change the amount of blur. You can see there, gives it a type of blur. That looks quite good. Just separates the main character from the background. Okay, so now we're going to export this. We've finished our piece. This is what I wanted you to achieve. Do your own style, and then we go File. Okay, and export, and export video media. Right. You could export it as a GIF if you wish to. That could go on to a Giphy site or one of those, or use it in a Facebook. So you could make little GIFs out of it as well. So you could export it as a GIF. I'm showing you how to do it as a video because we are film video students. So click that, and it will ask you to give it a destination, obviously. So I'm going to put it, call it face. Okay, and that's what I want, and export. And you will see that it's been it says okay, only a small file. Some of the bigger ones take longer. If you look at this one here, which is Media Encoder, which should be, you should download this with your Animate as well if you can, if you haven't got it. But this is a good little program that encodes things. It's already done that. It's been through the Media Encoder process without you even knowing. So, but sometimes you need to actually press play. And then we look for our file, which is down here, open it up, full screen using, and then we can see our finished piece. Put that into an edit maybe, or use that something, or put some sound by it and make some little animation. So that is Funnyface. Well done.